Hello, going to practice with my fly rod. I haven't thrown my musky fly rod in like forever. Hello, going to practice with my fly rod. I haven't thrown my musky fly rod in like forever. Hello, going to practice with my fly rod. I haven't thrown my musky fly rod in like forever. Hello, going to practice with my fly rod. I haven't thrown my musky fly rod in like forever. That wasn't very good. Been trying to catch a muskie on a fly rod, but I kind of give it up. I didn't do any over the winter. This is like the first time I've cast this year. What is it, August? Well, I can tell it too. I don't guess I need my stripping basket after all. I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. I got a new phone, and I'm not sure that my wireless mic is going to work with it. Oh, that's beautiful. Man, I can tell I'm rusty. Man, oh man. There we go. That was a little better. For some reason my line is getting caught up in my reel here. Very strange. Big flies catch a lot of wind. It takes a lot of practice to cast them very well. But this is a nice musky outfit. This is a TFO big fly rod. And I think I got an Echo Ion reel. Yeah, I'm only casting like maybe 50 feet if I'm lucky. Probably more like 35 or 40. Yeah, my line speed is not very good right now. And my loops are pretty big. Now, I don't know if you know anything about casting a fly rod, but when you shoot it out, the distance between your line and the fly when it rolls out, the shorter you can get that, the closer you can get them together, the less wind resistance and the farther you can cast. See, like that loop was pretty wide. And see, that loop was tighter and it went farther. But your timing is important. When you come back, you need to let that line straighten out in your rod load. If you start too soon, you're just pulling the slack out of the line and you're not getting the power that you need. If you start too late, the fly drops behind you and you end up getting stuck, back of your neck pierced. Feel like I'm starting forward too soon on my back cast. Like, you see how wide that loop was? That's not how it's supposed to be. This retrieve like this is called a roly-poly retrieve. See, this fly is probably, it's 10 inches long, maybe a 12-inch fly. It catches a lot of wind. If you want to see somebody that can really cast a fly rod, there's a guy named Gunnar Bramer. Gunnar Bramer, I think. And man, he can cast a fly rod. See, what you got to be able to do when you're musky fishing, you got to be able to do what they call shoot line. So when you come forward and you let go on your final forward cast, the line should just shoot all the way out and you should be able to throw off every bit of this line. When you see somebody do it, man, it's like pretty. See, I can shoot about, I may be shooting 8 or 10 feet of line, but I'm not shooting near what I should be able to. It takes a lot of practice. I've had a lot of irons in the fire the last couple of years, and I just haven't practiced. That was a little better. I used to stretch out a tape measure because my goal was to cast 100 feet, and I never have cast 100 feet in my life. One time I was practicing in the side yard, and I got a favorable gust of tailwind, and I made 95 feet. But that's kind of like the ball players on steroids that don't really count. Now, most times, especially like if you're fishing from a boat, you don't need to cast 60, 80, or 100 feet. But where I fish, trying to catch a muskie, the tailwater's a Green River Reservoir, and the channel is across the far bank, and that's where the fish are. So I wade out knee deep, or deep as I'm brave enough to wade out, and then I try to reach the far bank. Right now, they're not letting out very much water, so it'd be much easier. But the water's too hot. You don't want to fish for muskie when the water's more than about, a lot of people say 68 degrees and others say 72 degrees. But basically, when the water's 70 degrees or more, you don't want to fish for muskie because it stresses them too hard and they won't survive the next winter. They may swim off and look fine, but it's called delayed mortality. But the tailwater's down there, the water comes off the bottom of the lake. So it stays cool. It stays cool later in the year and cools down earlier in the summer. But like right now, water's too hot. I'm not targeting muskie. That's a big old wide nasty loop. And you could tell because it didn't go near as far. I probably, when I'm live streaming, I probably should practice with a small fly because I'd look a whole lot better. That was too many false casts. Let's see how far that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, not quite 20 paces. So maybe 60 feet. That's about as good a cast as I've made so far. So I'm getting like 60 feet. The fly rod really want to own. A guy named Thomas Schrank up in Wisconsin custom builds fly rods for Musky, the Chippewa River Fly Company. Maybe it's Chippewa River Fly Rod Company, but something like that. Big old nasty loop. But I'd like to have one of his rods in a 10 weight. This one is a 12 weight. It's really a little bit too heavy. It wears you out casting all day. But I'm out here pretty far away from the phone, so I don't know if anybody's watching or if anybody's chatting. I can't really see to tell. Now the plan is here in a little while I'm going to load up and go catfishing, and I'll probably live stream doing that also. But I've been told that if you're catfishing and you spray Pam cooking spray on your bait, you'll catch more catfish. So that's what I want to do. I want to set up 2 poles with basically the same setup, use the same bait. I got a skipjack to use for cut bait. I also have a shad, and we'll put one out with Pam's cooking spray and one without. See if it makes a difference. But like I say, I got a new phone. This is my first live stream with it, and I wasn't 100% sure the new microphone would connect to it. Oh, look at that all messed up. But I don't use this roly-poly retrieve when I'm fishing, although I probably should. When I'm fishing, I do a strip retrieve where you put your finger under the line, then you just pull a little bit at a time like this. But when you're in the backyard and it takes too long to get the lure back up. And see, muskie will follow your fly right up to the edge of the boat or right up to the edge of the bank. And then they look up at you like you're an idiot, laugh, and swim off. So that's why you got to strip it all in here. And then you do a figure eight. Of course, you can't do a figure eight in the grass. Big old wide nasty loop. When you first start learning to cast a fly rod, they teach you basically trout casting, which is put about 30 feet of line out, start at 10 o'clock, go to 2 o'clock, like that. See? And that's fine for trout or bluegill or crappie. But if you want to catch a muskie, you need to be able to To retrieve that all the way into the leader, do your figure 8, and then cast back out. But if you're doing the trout casting thing, which I highly recommend, if you've never picked up a fly rod in your life, don't try to do this, what I'm doing here, because you'll get frustrated. Just say 30 feet of line. And the key, when you come forward and make a sudden stop, push down with your thumb. And see, that's what I do when I'm come forward. But the trout casting start at 10 o'clock, you go to 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock. But if you want to shoot line, you come straight back like you're drawing a bow, come to a complete stop, let your rod drift back a little bit, then you come straight forward like you're throwing a punch, push with your thumb. See, push with your thumb. That little push down with your thumb does two things. It adds a lot of line speed, and it forces you to come to a sudden stop because your wrist only goes so far. Well, that went really good till the line tangled up. Well, that's another thing I'll show you. When you first get started and you're not a very good caster, you're going to get twists in your line. So what you do, you stretch your line all the way out. I'll come forward here so you can see it better. To get the twist out of your line, you make a loop right here and a loop right here. And if you're a right-hand caster, then you go over the top away from you. Just like that. Musky guy named Brad Bowen taught me that. And then you hold your finger and strip that, and it takes the twist out of your line. And fish for muskie, you need a wire leader. A lot of guys say fluorocarbon, but I'm a wire guy. That's plastic. That's called an Invisiswivel. And this is not too kinky titanium bite wire. And then I've got a stay fat, a Mustad fast attach clip. And see, I can just change flies really quickly. Looks like I got 7 people watching, 2 likes. Well, thank you all for watching. It's really hot, so I'm going to give it up for the moment. I'm going to go live here in a little bit, catfishing at Taylorsville Lake over by the marina. That's the plan anyways.